Yeah. Len, I'll count you off, and then we'll just introduce the show. All right. 3, 2, 1. Boom.
Everyone, welcome to another episode of Everything is Personal. I'm so excited today, but first I want to introduce the very, very sage, cool hat today, by the way. My co-host equal to a host? Whatever that
It should be. All I'm saying is that I should be equal, but I think in this particular case, you definitely, again, I'm your Robin Quivers, man.
I know.
Whatever Robin Quivers is to Howard Stern, that's what I am to Len.
Well, my equally important co-host, Robin / John Small. Welcome.
Well, Len, it is, as always, a pleasure to be here. And I'm so excited that we have a special guest joining us from San Diego, from a San Diego hotel room with patchy internet. But
I think he says Sacramento, but
Sacramento, my bad.
I think it's a little cooler in Sacramento.
Yeah, if it was San Diego, you'd have great service. Sacramento.
That's right. Sacramento has shitty service.
We
didn't even introduce. We didn't introduce it. We're talking. We didn't introduce it. So, by the way, I'm going to introduce our guest, and I will not even close to do. My introduction will not do him justice, so I would like him to introduce himself. But I'm really, really excited to introduce the NFL legend, the great Mr. Robert Griffith. Welcome to our show. Thank you. And more importantly, to the NFL grade and all that other stuff, and he'll introduce himself. I consider him a dear friend. So I really, really appreciate, super grateful for you joining us. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for being here.
My pleasure. Definitely. It's my pleasure, gentlemen.
That's exciting.
So Robert, maybe you can give the audience like a really quick elevator pitch on you, your career, and some things that you're working on right now. And then we'll move into, questions and, whatever cause that you have. We'd love for you to share that.
Okay. That's pretty easy. I guess you want me to just describe my career and
give us the Wikipedia version.
The short version of the Wikipedia. Like we're in an elevator and you're just telling your buddy like that's my greatness.
Yeah. Well, okay. So my story is a little unique. I guess I'll just start from San Diego. Earned an engineering degree from San Diego State. Go Aztecs. I walked on in college, earned a scholarship, did not get drafted. Went to the Canadian Football League. I'll tell you the long story. It's an hour long.
Yeah, go for it.
That's all right. We got nothing but time.
We have hours.
It will take at least a half an hour for me to tell you how this road's been. It's been really incredible. But so I went to the Canadian Football League for a year. Did not play in a game, and I'll tell you the full story, I guess, later. But ended up getting a walk on with the Vikings and. Gary Zauner, shout out to Gary Zauner. And from there, I made the team. That's a whole nother story in itself. I was literally the last guy on the roster, but I made the team. Ended up being one of the guys that run down on kickoff and did all the grunt work. Broke their special teams tackle record that year. Became a captain. My next year, broke my record again. Ended up starting a couple games. And then my third year, I ended up winning the job. And so it was really a test, I guess, of mental capacity for me and just attrition. And that's kind of how I got in the league. The league was a lot different then. And then
what was the job you won? What was the job? What was the position you were playing ultimately?
I was at my first 2 years. I was at free safety, and then the bulk of my career I played strong safety. So kind of a little bit of a smaller kind of guy, but an enforcer. And Denny Green used to call me his Swiss Army knife. So I used to be able to play a lot of places, and weak side linebacker, corner, nickel, both safety spots. And so I think my versatility kept me around that long and allowed me to play some good football. And so I'm really, really proud about what I was able to do for the players. So I represented the players. So I was a rep for our Players Association my first couple of years. And then my fourth year, I got voted by all the players to a 10-member executive committee cabinet position. And from there, we did a lot of amazing things. We started the marketing arm, Players Inc., which is now NFL Players. We signed group licensing agreements and really changed the landscape of how the unions market themselves and generate revenue. We signed the Madden game, for EA Sports. We did a deal with Reebok. We actually rescued Reebok, and that's a whole nother story in itself. But we got a lot accomplished, and I think we set the blueprint for how major sports deals now: basketball, baseball, hockey, everybody. So I was a part of that, and I was really proud of the 5 collective bargaining agreements that, we were able to do. We got a little bit of, we were able to uncover a lot of things that we weren't sharing on, and so we were able to put those in place. We went from designated gross revenue to total revenue. I mean, we can get in the weeds with that if you like, but it was a real fight. Now the guys have 401ks and health medical savings accounts and, annuities. And so I just feel really good about being a part of that and being a spear, one of the guys at the tip of the spear for that movement. Over the last 20 years, I've been an entrepreneur. I owned multifamily unit housing places in Arizona, Nevada, California. Owned a couple restaurants, one very successful, one not so successful. Been a part of artist distribution companies. I'm involved in gaming now, a gaming platform. I do a little business with my man, Len May, as we would say on the phone. And we have a wellness company, We Fence, and we offer, and we'll get into that, I know, Len, but we offer formulations targeted specifically for athletes in mind, even though the ordinary person could use them and benefit from them. And so just really stretching my entrepreneurial chops out. I also have an NFL license. We sell a incredible backpack, and we're just launching all 32 teams. The Vikings bag will be here soon. The Steelers bag will be here soon. I'm getting all my good friends and
when am I getting my Eagles
colleagues
bag? That's why I want my Eagles bag. Even though it's a shitty year.
That one's going to be on the second. Yeah, that one's going to be on the second tier.
Good. They don't deserve a bag.
I want a Giants bag.
No, we're definitely going to get all these bags out, and it just allows me to have fun and do incredible things with my friends and allow us to extend our networks. And so, that's pretty much in a nutshell what I'm involved in. And there's a lot to chop up there, but and I'm also getting my MBA from Fordham University right now. So
nice.
There's a lot.
That's a lot. You're a young man.
That's a great resume, right? Like think about it this way: as a walk-on, like the fight that you had to go through to overcome so many obstacles to be able to get to where you got to. I mean, it's just such a motivating story for everybody that's listening too. Think about it. You didn't get drafted, you didn't make it, but you kept on pushing. I think it's that internal something that people have to say, okay, even right now, the things that we're dealing with, and there's people around all of us that we know that are sick, etc. And in being able to see the light at that tunnel and being able to overcome those obstacles. And I know, Robert, you have some personal association with that too, but being able to have that inside of you, that's a really special thing. So I really appreciate you sharing.
And then giving back to others, right? You weren't in it for yourself. Seems like
your
whole career you were helping out others.
Yeah, and I have I started a foundation also. I wanted to make sure I added that 1998. Just with the sole purpose to give out scholarships to high school seniors. And so I've done that successfully, put 36 high school seniors through college. And that's one of the things I'm really, really proud about. And so, we got, I call them kids, but we have grown adults now. They went to Stanford, San Diego State, University of Minnesota, Mankato, Xavier, West Point, Hamlin University, Augsburg College, all those are in Minneapolis. And so that's, we feel really, really good about that. A lot of guys really supported me over the years. Jerome Bettis, Marshall Falk, Terrell Owens. Those are all my friends. These guys, we've all supported each other. And so I always to just remember all the things that we did in the early 2000s, and the money we were raised, and how we really got it done, right? And it was a lot of those guys supported me in doing it.
Yeah, it's beautiful, man. I agree with John. I mean, going through and overcoming those obstacles and learning from that, and then being able to take everything you learn and give it back and give other people opportunities. I mean, it's a special thing. So it's definitely something that you should be proud of. And
I appreciate that.
And the work that we're doing, I mean, it's an extension of that. Just in full disclosure, our company, Endo-Canna Health, we're licensing and helping Robert and his company, WeFence, to create those formulations that are indication specific, so we can help a lot of these athletes through the scientific research that we're doing, and just people in general that have these symptomatic conditions. And I think it really says a lot about not only your business acumen where you've had success, but also connecting back to the reason why, and that reason is to help and give back. So it's clearly coming through on this. Really, really appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you guys acknowledging some of the work. It's always selfless, right? So,
not for everybody.
Now we get a chance to
not for everybody in the cannabis industry. It is not, man.
Yeah,
I mean, people
true.
are take. But at the end of the day, man, that shit comes through. So it's really clear, who's genuine, who's in it for the self-serving interests. But,
yeah.
Cool, man.
Yeah, and there's a way to do it now where you can always make money and still do it, right? So I think that's the next pursuit now, especially with our relationship, is to help and still, turn over some cash and do some things, do a lot of things for people.
Absolutely. All right. So I'm gonna try, and I really appreciate your time again. I'm gonna try to make this as quick as possible. We do these things when we have a guest. We basically go through 3 questions. They're pretty simple and easy, and I'll go through and ask those questions. Go through and answer. And if anything else at the end that you want to say, it's cool, and then we'll let you run, and then we'll go on to our little show here. So, first question for you, Mr. Griffith. Please describe your first experience with cannabis.
Oh wow!
If you remember it.
That's no. I actually do. It's with my brother Mike.
There you go.
I was also with one of my lifelong friends, one of my best friend, Arthur Sims, and I'm calling him out. I was 16, and my buddy Art was 15. I just got my license, and my brother was home from the Army, and him and his buddy always smoked, and we were all athletes and stuff. We never messed with it, and I remember calling us in the backyard. It had to be maybe 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It was, it's hot outside. And I remember he passed us a glass pipe, just a small little glass pipe. And I remember just laughing all day and we were playing video games. I mean, Jesus. I remember laughing all day, playing video games all day, and was it your
Atari 2600?
No, it was actually ColecoVision back then.
There you go.
That's what we were on. Yeah.
We're old school, man.
And then, that's old school. And I remember us getting serious munchies and driving to Yum Yums. And I was like, my first time really I just got my license like maybe a couple weeks before. And so we ended up driving to Yum Yums and eating a dozen donuts, man. So that's my first experience. So
not a bad one.
I don't know if that's exciting or not, but
it's a good one.
That's what
it is a good one. We have a lot of people. As you know, cannabis is personal to everybody. So we always ask, because it's interesting when you hear some people like John, and I'm calling you out because you've already shared this. Always. He had a really negative experience until he got to Nathan's hot dogs. And then
I was playing video games, yeah, and it kicked in and at Nathan's hot dogs, and man, but I did get the munchies, and I just ate a lot of fried clams, which sounds kind of disgusting now.
Wow.
but no, it's also interesting that you as an athlete, I think a lot of professional athletes I've talked to don't really discover cannabis until like after their career, when they're injured and they need relief. And the fact that you, because there's a stigma attached to it, right? For a lot of athletes, and they're scared to even go near it. But you
didn't touch it at all when I was playing. Yeah,
when you were playing,
yeah. It at all when I was playing. Yeah, but growing up, it was everywhere, so, right. Just walking to elementary, there was, you got up in the morning and smelled it in my neighborhood. So it was not a big thing. We knew what it was, but it was more of, we wanted to stay away from it because we wanted to play ball. So exactly. It's like that. Yeah. That's when sports kind of comes back and keeps you in line. And, I was one of those kids.
Yeah.
No, go ahead,
John. No, go ahead.
No, it's like, did you turn to it for relief from your pain during your career or after your career? Because I'm sure there was.
Yeah, and I guess I said I messed with it. Like during my career, I probably smoked in the off season 12 times in 13 years. Like, I made the Pro Bowl. We went to Hawaii. We celebrated. I had all my good friends from day one, like Art and Jay and a guy named Richie and a couple other guys that I grew up with. And so we celebrated there. But I can count literally 12 times during my playing career where I did. Now it's like right after the season kind of thing. And,
yeah, exactly.
But it wasn't until I retired where I really started enjoying and, discovering the benefits of, being able to have a really active lifestyle. So, just kind of, for me, it was always enjoyable to just, and still is, to take, a couple puffs and then go work out, right? Go lift weights. And, it takes the little edge off of warming up and getting in a groove. And by the time I'm in my groove, right? I'm working it. So I see benefits, all the way across the board for me. And something I'm going to do the rest of my life. It works for me.
Yeah, I think what you said is right on. And another testament to how different the experience can be for individuals. Like Robert's using it as a pre-workout, and also maybe it's a recovery, and maybe for something that's pre-workout is different than recovery after workout. And some people that I talk to, right. John and I've had conversations like, if somebody consumes, there's no way this person is going to work out. They get couch locked and they're in a different state. So it's so interesting how the genetics of this amazing plant, and they work with your own genetics and your own mindset. So everybody has these different experiences. And I think the more we talk about it, I think the better people will start to understand that it's not just a linear experience. It's different for different people. But I'm definitely glad that you mentioned that as a tool, a therapeutic tool for working out and pre-workout and recovery. All right. So second question is music related. John and I are big music guys, and so it's related to music and cannabis. How does music connect to you in your life, and how does cannabis and music go together? Is there a go-to soundtrack that you like? Is there a song? Is there an album when you consume? Like, what's the vibe in the Griffith ecosystem when consuming?
Well, everybody that knows me knows that Nas is probably my favorite artist, rap artist.
Nice represent.
So I had it's funny. My girlfriend, I have this old, I guess it's an old iPod, right? It's like one of the first ones, small little mini, and it's got the real plug-in on the intercept in there. And but I have, I used that when I was playing. So I had this thing 20 years ago. And so I have my game music or, my pre-game music. And so I started going through it, and it's Nas and, a lot of independent guys like E40 is one of my favorites. but then, you know, obviously the West Coast, so Exhibit, Snoop, and, you know, come on, Griff, DJ Quick. You know, like I'm a West guy, right?
How the West was won. You
wrong.
just gave the lineup for how the West was won. It was like the 3 shows going on.
Ice Cube, right?
Rap. Yep.
So Ice Cube, right? Like the Alcoholics. Yeah. Like all these guys are like jumbled up in there, right? So that was on my, you know, on my pregame music, and I still when I work out, I'll listen to. I'm more of an instrumental guy. Like I love the lyrics. Don't get me wrong, but when I'm working or just working out, I like to have my mind drift. So I listen to nothing but instrumentals. My dad is a former saxophonist. He played all three horns. Detroit, you know, pre-Motown. Oh, wow. You know, I come from some incredible. The men in my family are incredible. My grandfather was an entrepreneur, owned 3 barbershops, ran for state representative in Detroit, came in 3rd out of 8, you know, candidates, was a prize fighter, worked out with Joe Louis. I got pictures of my grandfather and Joe Louis. Yeah, sweat.
Oh, that's incredible.
That is cool.
Yeah, so like the lineage is pretty incredible, but my dad was a musician. He went to Cass Tech with Don Cornelius, Smokey Robinson. Actually, my dad's high school girlfriend was Smokey Robinson's first wife.
Wow.
The Vandellas, the Marvin, I don't know how many different groups came out as Cass Tech during the late 50s, but and so my dad was went into the Navy. He was the first horn in the Navy. So when I was a kid, I sat for inaugurations. I think I was there for Ford and 2 or 3 inaugurations. My dad played. You know, he's the first horn. So he's the best horn in the Navy for 20 years. My dad was a bad dude. He's got 5 albums. Yeah, he's got 5 albums. He was in a quartet.
Oh, that's awesome.
So growing up, I'm a jazz enthusiast. I won't call myself a savant, but I know my jazz through and through. And so I like instrumentals, right? So
is bebop your thing?
My girl thinks, yeah.
Is it Train?
Like
you'll dabble in all of it?
Monk, yeah, Monk, Train,
Miles,
all the classics, Davis, all of them, right?
You know, we had a show recently. I forgot. This is actually a good reminder because we talked about covers, and we were like, "What's your favorite cover?" There was a cover that Train did of My Favorite Things. That's one of the best jazz covers of a song that you ever heard. It's my favorite. I forgot to.
Yeah, Miles Davis has got some covers too. Oh man, I keep forgetting it. Oh, come on, it's gonna come to me. Where they took a picture of him and you could see every granule of his dark skin.
Oh man,
like it was almost like you could see every pixel of his skin. It was like shaded. Oh, what's the name of that album? I remember looking at it as a kid my whole life.
Yeah, I love that.
Anyway,
Kind of Blue is an amazing album.
Yeah, Kind of Blue.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So, other question. We kind of touched on it already, but I'll just ask it since it's a question I ask. What has cannabis meant in your life?
You know, I used to have like a love-hate kind of thing because it was more mental for me. I always thought that I was hurting myself. You know, it's like, how can I want to do this? You know, and how it makes me feel. And I felt wrong about it sometime, you know, just because of where the laws were and, you know, and all the stigma and whatnot around what it is.
Right.
And, you know, the more insight, I don't know, I'm kind of my own person. So I wasn't like I was going to stop. I think I weeded out people that didn't want to be around me just because they knew that I was okay with going out in the backyard, just taking a couple puffs at a party and not having it be a big thing, right? That bothered them that everybody would know that that's me. Let me back up. I felt like it chiseled at the fact that I was this former all-pro guy. And I think living that dichotomy of playing what's right for everybody or what's right for you has been tricky until late. Right. I think when I turned, I turned 50 on Monday. When I turned 45, I was just like, all right, this is good for me. I'm in shape. I'm still dunking a basketball, working out. This shit is working for me. I don't give a damn.
Right.
And my girl's looking at me now. It's the truth. I'm not lying. Like, she's like, oh, you can't dunk. I'll go out there and jump on that rim right now. I'm 50, right? And it's because
of cannabis.
Still, yes. No, I'm being real though. It's because I'm enjoying the process of everyday life, right?
Yeah.
So I have a routine. When I'm flowing in my routine, I'm doing it a certain way, and it works for me, right?
Yeah.
And so that's all I'm saying.
No, it's a beautiful thing, and that stigma. And we talk to a lot of people, and even outside the show, and that stigma really is it plays games with you, because it's the family's been taught, my parents and other people, oh, this is a drug and this is like heroin and all this stuff, and they don't understand. Right. And then you kind of feel guilty because you're sneaking out. Oh my God, am I doing something? It's illegal and it's this and it's that. But I'm glad you were able to find that within yourself, because I think some people are not strong enough to overcome those stigmas, for sure.
Yeah, and then there's a level of not giving a fuck after a while. It's just like, all right,
yeah, if you're gonna be that close,
I'm my best person with you, however you want to take it, because I'm doing what I'm doing. So
exactly. That's a beautiful statement. I said that to my parents. It's funny that you brought that up. So when I was growing up, I was an angry kid because I used all of those stuff. And when I would smoke and I'd consume, it would calm me down. I would feel like, that low. My parents were like the opposite. Like, I think when you smoke that shit, it makes you angry. I'm like, no. You don't understand. I'm angry all the time. I'm angry because of you. It's when I smoke that I'm actually normal, that I'm actually
right. I love how people twist that around. Twist it.
Interesting.
Right. So we have a bonus question, like some really fun, if you can. So describe what your room looked like growing up, if you remember.
Oh wow, I do, I really do, and I got a pretty vivid memory because the last time before Corona hit, I was looking through at my mom's house some old albums, and I remember I had aluminum foil. I put aluminum foil on my one side of my wall. Mm-hmm. We just, like, my sister's room was different. She had a chalkboard on one side of her wall, and everybody came in and hit her wall. Everybody walked in our house had to go in her room and hit her wall up. It was like a big graffiti wall. Mm-hmm. But I had aluminum foil on one wall, and then I had it was this thing I made in the 8th grade. Where I had different strings, and it was almost like remember that game Trapezoid?
I'm going to say yes, but
okay. It looked like that, right? But anyway, it was just this string deal that I did. It was rainbow color. It was this artwork that I had on my board. Then I had a Washington Redskins poster. I had a San Diego Chargers.
The whole team, or was there like a certain
player? Yeah, because I was born in DC, and my brother was Washington Redskins.
That was your team.
So they gave me, they wanted me to be a Redskin fan,
like a Joe Theismann.
Yeah. But then I had, the Chargers were there, so I had the Chargers poster up.
Sure.
And then Spider-Man I had everywhere on the wall.
Nice.
Stickers on my dresser, like, oh my God, Spider-Man was my guy.
That was your guy.
That's so funny.
So that's pretty much it.
You know what's funny about Spider-Man? So this is pre-COVID. My partner Eric and I, we went to a hotel in Portland. And speaking of how Portland is weird, the hotel, we walk in, we were in the Spider-Man room. So they had a huge mural of Spider-Man coming from the wall all the way up to the ceiling over the bed with webs everywhere. I'm like, what is this?
Spider-Verse. Yeah, that's awesome. You're in the Spider-Verse.
It was really cool. Yeah, so that's speaking of I'm just gonna ask this question because I'm sure you've been asked before. Speaking of Redskins, I think we call it the Washington football team now, which is a whole ridiculous.
Oh yeah, that's right. But
it's a whole ridiculous.
It was Redskins. You told me it was the Redskins. The poster was a Redskins.
It's Redskins.
Yeah,
we'll go with that.
Look,
Yeah, he wasn't
No
offending it.
disrespect to
Yeah, he
any
wasn't
of my
offending
native-
anybody.
No.
No.
I'm offending.
No.
It's on me.
No. Trust me, I have plenty of native brothers and sisters. I can call out a lot of my people around the
There you go.
country.
Yeah,
They're
so
my people, man.
I was just saying because you brought up the Redskins. So the first time I've ever heard your name like came through, and I didn't see the spelling of it, but somebody said Robert Griffith, and I was just like, oh shit, Redskins quarterback, and I didn't.
Right.
You ever get people confusing you?
Every day, and here. And let me just can I put this out in the,
please
put that out in the world.
Put this, please. Because, I'm all about energy and vibration now. My girl's always on me about, look, the vibration energy ain't right.
Yeah.
So I'm putting this out there. So hopefully one day this will go away a little bit. Because this guy came in, and I love this guy. I'm hoping he keeps playing and all that. He had a great rookie year. He did some amazing things. Mm-hmm. Because he's RG3, that got branded so hard, stamped everywhere, during those, whatever couple of 24 months. Now, people always believe my name is Griffin and I'm Griffith.
Yes.
And I'm first, right? So he's chasing me, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
like, I put in the work, man. Come on now.
Come on now.
And I don't know, man. I want to get into it. But
You're the original RG1.
Yeah, exactly.
When I retired, I was top 10 in tackles. I did 100 years of this league, man. I did some stuff in this league. So
there you go.
I don't know what I am now. I think I'm 24th or 5th now. I don't know. There's a lot of guys past me since in the last 14, 16 years. But I feel good about what I did,
Yeah, for sure. I'm
happy
that we gave you
tainted by RG3.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to give you a platform to be able to clear that up with people because I want to make sure that people understand that, and I like RG3 too. He's in Baltimore now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but
he's in Baltimore.
You're the G. You're the first.
He's RG1.
I appreciate
he's
that.
RG1. Yep.
RG1.
No, I appreciate that kid though. He, kudos to him, man, coming back from that knee, and so I wish him nothing but the best. So
for sure. So this is pretty much the segment that we had. I wanted to see if there's first of all, thank you so much.
Thank you, man,
for joining us. This is incredible.
I could talk to you for an hour. I know you got to go probably.
And then if you have anything else that you wanted to end on, if anything else that you wanted to say, share with our audience, and then we'll let you get to.
By the way, I think we should bring RG1 back to do a whole thing about Nas because we got to give respect to Nas. I love that you're a Nas fan.
Let's do a Nas
and
show,
also,
man.
he's got a documentary on right now. We're talking about cannabis, the smoke, the marijuana in Black America. On
he does,
BET.
and he's got a new. I don't know if you heard his new song.
Yeah, it's good. Like a lot of those old cats don't always have good.
Yeah,
It's
kind of hard. It's kind of hard to come back and make some good music when you're one of the old guys now.
Yeah, when you put out Illmatic, it's kind of like hard to top that record.
You know who's
one of the great records?
Stillmatic was good too, though.
Yeah, Stillmatic was good. But Illmatic, man, that's legendary. You can't.
Yeah, it's one of the greats. Legendary.
You know who's really good at this though? Snoop. He always is. He's got the same flow every time, but he can always innovate. He can always put out new music and it'll be current no matter what he does. And it's very hard to do.
And it's Snoop's his real asset is his voice, his sound.
Yeah, so original.
Like there's only one Snoop, man. There's only one James Earl Jones, right? There's only one.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, and Snoop's that guy. And it's iconic. So
yeah.
But I appreciate my time here. I guess the one thing I wanted to just get your opinion on, Len, since you're one of the most authoritative guys on cannabis and CBD. Like, what do you think about the new bill and and it being able to at least get past the first step? So how do you think this thing is going to play out here in the next year or so?
Well, I'm glad this is one of the topics that John and I were going to talk about because yesterday passed another bill that nobody's really talking about. It's the research bill that the House passed. I believe that Georgia is going to be a big state for us. If the Senate flips, I think the Senate can actually can ratify this bill. I think it's an amazing thing to come from prohibition to this that we have now, even if this bill doesn't pass the Senate, it actually gives us an amazing opportunity to have a discussion that we've never been able to have before. The problem with these bills are that it becomes a negotiation, and they start fitting in all these other things. Oh, we need money for this. We need money for that. Right. And the negotiation of it. So at the very least, maybe this bill won't pass in the way that it is now. However, it gives them an opportunity to negotiate the terms of what each side will want to do. And I think when Biden actually comes in and this is going to be on the agenda, he talked about decriminalizing and rescheduling. And they're going to have to do that in order for this to have interstate commerce, which is the most important thing.
Right.
And I think what's driving this out of anything is money.
Of course.
They know they have a 5% excise tax federally, and that's in the bill. Once you have that, now the federal government is able to take that money, reinvest. The states are going to be able to take that money to reinvest. And so, that's kind of what drives a lot of these programs and bills. It's the money. And now they can taste it.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I just wanted to make sure I was on the same page and the right page.
Yeah, man.
But it's inevitable now. We're having a conversation already.
Yep.
I think it's going to flip, man. I think Purdue's probably got the best chance to win, but I think Loeffler, that debate was horrible. I don't know. That's another thing. I'm into politics.
She's like a robot.
That debate was disgusting. It was horrible. I think that Warnock has an opportunity there. So
I hope so.
It's gonna be interesting, man. I got the popcorn out. I'm ready for it.
There you go.
Right. I don't know if I can handle. I can't handle another election. I get a heart attack during these things. I'm gonna just
we got to find the right cannabis cultivar to calm you down.
Exactly, just to help you through the night. Yeah.
All right, brother. Hey,
and I just want to give. I also wanted to give Len a shout out, man. I appreciate. I appreciate you spending all the time educating a guy like me on the benefits from a scientific. Obviously that's what I want to hear: the truth, the facts, and then get more personal and learn more about my body, and how I can sustain. Having this wellness, this well-being, right? Just living every day, feeling good, and mentally and physically. And I appreciate you, educating me and bring me into your world, man. So, just wanted to give you a shout out, man.
Thank you.
I don't hear a lot of people shouting you out, man. This guy,
I appreciate it.
Len knows what the hell he's talking about.
Big ups to Len. I'll shout him out.
Guys. Yeah, thank you. I mean, that's
I appreciate it, man. It's been a good education for me.
Nah, thank you. I appreciate you saying that. It definitely means a lot. So, hey, brother, listen, man, I know you got to run. Thank you so much for your time. Yeah. Really, really, really appreciate you being here. I mean, it was really entertaining. I hope people really got, the essence of you, because I think you're a beautiful person for doing what you're doing. And I think people should really hear your story. It's great, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Robert. It's nice to meet you.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right.
Likewise, man. You guys have a great week.
We'll have you back, man. We'll have you back.
Talk soon.
Have you back. Peace,
all right.
Man.
All right.
Take care, brother.
You have cool friends, man. He's awesome.
It was cool, right, man? He's an interesting
guy. I want to hang out with him.
Yeah, man.
It's amazing. Somebody can spend their whole career just destroying people on the field and be so kind and giving, off the field,
Dude, we'll have one of my hockey friends on at one point, an enforcer that led the league in penalty minutes for, beating people up and getting beat up. You would be surprised how sweet and nice. I mean, even Tyson, man, like the couple times that I've hung out with Tyson, such a sweet, soft-spoken, down-to-earth guy. Like you would never think until he shakes your hand, and the hand is like, it's not even the size of the hand, but it's the volume of it. I don't even know how to describe it. It's so big,
it's out of proportion to like his whole body.
Oh my God. Like I can, when you shook my hand the first time, I had an immediate moment of like, can you imagine getting hit with that and getting hit the right way? Because he obviously knows how to hit.
He knows how to hit. No, it's an interesting thing that they're almost like athletes are able to compartmentalize. Like they can live their life one way, but when they get on the field or when they get in the ring, they can just turn on another personality and just,
I think that's luck.
Yeah.
a lot of people that even if you're a performer of any sorts, even musicians, like I know a lot of musicians that can perform, but they're outgoing, but they're introverted.
Yeah. I think of myself, like on the mic, I'm just like a terror. And then as soon as this mic is turned off, I just slink off to a corner somewhere and cry. No, that was really interesting though. What a great guy. And I was glad that he brought up the topic, because I was curious to hear your take, and I'm glad, the topic of the MORE Act and all this legislation and the UN passing or voting to decriminalize marijuana and not make it a dangerous drug on their dangerous drug list. The momentum is there.
We're on the path. We're on the path.
I'm not that optimistic. I mean, God, if the Democrats do flip the Senate, then I'm much more optimistic.
I'm not optimistic on this version of the MORE Act, but it's fine because the House quietly passed the Medical Marijuana Research Act yesterday, I believe. And if you look at that, what they're trying to enact is it's sort of a dual path. So one of the things they're looking at is what can we do to deregulate cannabis. On the other side, they're saying there is not enough research. And for those of our listeners that are not aware, all the research that has been done anywhere in the United States, all the cannabis has to come from University of Mississippi, which has so many challenges with it. It's freeze dried. It's full of mold. It's a cultivar, a strain of cannabis that really doesn't exist almost anywhere else. The THC content is not. So any research that's been done to date is not even realistic research because you really can't get that cannabis anywhere else. So by passing the Research Act, it allows people to use other cannabinoids, other cultivars, other chemovars to do research. Now we can start honing in on the plant, the different types of plants, because there's so many different variations. And in addition to that, you can also start honing into the components of the plant. So let's say that instead of, my formulation will have myrcene, linalool, all these different essential oils, they're called terpenes in the plant, this CBD, this minor cannabinoid. Let's see how this works for this indication and for these genotypes. So the research becomes a lot more on point. And that one of the biggest pet peeves that I've had in cannabis forever, we talk about cannabis and the other side says, well, there's not enough research.
Yeah. So
agreed, there's not enough research, but fuck, man, you're not allowing us to do the research.
Yeah. You're
preventing us.
People might not realize it because it's federally illegal. People can't, the major universities can't do research. There's all sorts of restrictions. And then the people who can do research are the organization that funds all the research in this country is the NIDA, which is incentivized to show that, which is the National Institute of Drug Abuse, NIDA, which is really incentivized to show that cannabis and drugs are destructive. So all their research, which is millions of dollars in research, is all about how terrible cannabis is. It's so screwed up, the whole system. We all know it. And I think it's righting itself, but we have to be patient. It's very hard to be patient. I get it. It's hard for me because this is how I make my living in this industry, and I want it to be, it affects me every day how regulated it is.
Well, absolutely.
On a personal and financial level. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, banking and all that stuff, but even from a side of the business side, and, I'm going to kind of segue a little bit, but along the same lines of cannabis. I had a friend of mine that reached out yesterday. I think it's yesterday, maybe it's the day before, that his mom passed away. And not to kind of bring the mood down, but stage 4 cancer, and I was helping. I didn't know how bad it was, but I was helping. So the point is late stage 4 cancer, and also dementia or Alzheimer's. And one of the things that she was doing was waking up at night and walking around. And I may have even talked about it on one of our previous shows. And the formulation, this is the point. The formulation helped her sleep, so it helped her rest and all that stuff. But it's such a pain in the ass because I can't take a formulation I think will work for her and mail it to her. She can't buy it off a website. You can't go in the store and get it. It's still because it's in Pennsylvania, even though it's legal for medicinal. They don't have our formulations. We can't do interstate commerce and all this stuff. It's just so difficult for somebody to get a therapeutic product that's only helping them with quality of life. Like, I don't think, I don't think anything that I was trying to do was going to all of a sudden erase the cancer and cure her. Right. That wasn't the goal. The goal, it was to manage the symptoms. That's the ultimate goal. Like, everything above and beyond that is a bonus. And I do feel that, your mind has a lot to do with the disease anyway. So if you're feeling better, if your mental state is better, if you're getting sleep, all the other stuff, your body will help itself heal. And sometimes it's absolutely too late when it starts going into your bones. There's not much you can do, but at least, that was the communication I had with her son. And I said, man, I feel so bad. I wish I could have done more. And then he's like, well, you helped her so much to have a better quality of life towards her end. And that's it. And that's all we can do. But you still have to jump through a million hoops. And I don't think people realize, and especially us living in California, living in Southern California, we're sort of in a bubble. Oh, you need weed? Sure. I mean, snap my fingers and weed's right there.
We don't realize how hard it is to get. Oh, I know. Even in New York, my mom's got, she's constantly asking me to mail her stuff. I'm like, Mom, I can't mail you stuff. I mean, I can.
It's illegal.
It's illegal.
John.
Yeah. I get in trouble.
You never do that.
Yeah, you don't do that. And I'm like, it's, and thankfully New Jersey is now going to be legal because you can just get on the bridge.
Yeah. New York will be legal too. Everything will be legal, but it's
stupid how it is. The system is set up.
It's stupid. And I sort of sat down the other day and I was really upset. And I sort of went through my mental Rolodex. I mean, so many people passed away in whatever many years I've been doing this. And I feel that, like, empathetically, I feel that I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical professional. I was never trained on how to deal with that kind of stuff. So I go through these kind of phases where I start thinking about it. But then in a conversation with Griff or other people, it reminds me the ratio of how many people were helped over how many people that were not. Even the people that passed on and transitioned, if we were able to help their quality of life, but so many other people, the ratio is so much greater on the people that actually got help from, working or understanding or something I've talked about or something, Dr. Mishulam talked, anybody that's in the industry or, any formulation they may have taken. So I think that's sort of where I hang on to the hope that we're doing something really, really good for and helping people. So I connect to that. Speaking of sleep, I want to talk to you about sleep. Maybe people are seeing this now on YouTube, or they are. But
I hope they're not sleeping.
Maybe that last segment was a little too much. All right, let's move on. No. I put him to sleep. All right, I got it. By the way, one of my squirrel moments, t-shirt.
Oh yeah.
You have a cool.
I have a cool t-shirt on today, but it's a little bit of a departure for me. I'm gonna go with, and I'm standing up now so we can see it on the screen. Do you know
Pablo Cruz?
Do you know what Pablo Cruz is? Pablo Cruz is not hip hop. Pablo Cruz is a classic yacht rock band that did a song called "Love Will Find a Way." Love will find a way.
Yeah.
Really one of the sort of the pioneers of the yacht rock sound out of Southern California. And I decided I was just going to represent a little bit today, some Pablo Cruz. This is the kind of shirt that if I wear, there's only a certain type of person that'll approach me in a grocery store, usually over the age of 65.
I was going to say.
Yeah. And be like, I love Pablo Cruz. And I'll be like, I'm the least cool person in the world. Yeah, so I better start putting on my Kendrick Lamar shirts.
Yeah. AARP cards.
Yeah, exactly. But Pablo Cruz, shout out to Pablo Cruz. And what are you wearing today?
So I'm wearing a 444 shirt.
Oh, 444.
So, yeah. Do you know what that is?
Is that a Nas reference?
That is a Jay-Z reference, who you're not a
See,
big fan of.
is that a Jay-Z reference?
That is Jay-Z's last album.
Oh.
And it has one of my favorite songs on there called The Story of OJ. And I have I think it's a way underrated album. And I know you're not a huge Jay-Z fan, but if you listen to that album,
I'm going to listen to that song.
That album is poetry. Okay. It's even if you turn, and he's got some amazing Nina Simone samples in The Story of OJ. And the video is really, really cool, and it's got an interesting meaning to it. And the other reason why I'm wearing this shirt, and I started noticing only during COVID time, when I look at my phone, almost every single day, I look at my phone at 4:44. And I've been actually like doing screen grabs of and showing it to everybody. Like my daughter sees it, my partner, everybody. 4:44.
Cue Twilight Zone music.
What is that? So I started looking it up. I'm like 4:44. I see it almost every day, and I'm like, what is that? So 4:44 is a symbol of spiritual awakening.
Ooh.
It's if you keep seeing the number 4:44. It's a meaning of spiritual awakening. In addition to that, and there's a whole bunch of different explanations I'm going to go into, but in addition to that, it's the angel number. And I'm like, what the hell is an angel number? So the angel number says it's a sign that someone is trying to communicate with you.
Whoa. Who's trying to communicate with you?
I don't know. I have no idea, man. But it's an interesting.
That's
thing.
interesting.
It's been going on for close to a year now, but I see it all the time. And I used to do a screen capture every single day so people wouldn't believe me, because I had a date stamp on there. It's 4:44, and it's been every single day. And yesterday I was talking to my partner. I'm like, hey, look at the time. What time is it right now? He's like, shit, 4:44. So whatever that means.
I thought it was going to be 4:20. Yeah, it's good. It's I'm wondering what 12:17 is, because whenever I look at the clock, it's 12:17. It probably means you need to, I don't know.
It's lunchtime.
It's lunchtime.
It's lunchtime. You need to eat. But anyway, so I'm going back to sleep. We digressed.
Okay, sleeping.
All that stuff.
Sleeping cannabis.
Great album. Highly recommend.
4:44. Yes. Okay, we'll put that in our show notes.
Yeah, and Story of OJ. We can play that as a song if you didn't hear it. Maybe even today.
Yeah.
But so somebody looked. Somebody mentioned to me, like, man, you get circles under your eyes. I'm like, man, I have not been sleeping, and I haven't been really sleeping well. So wanted to, and then I want to kind of use this as a segue to talk about personal development a little bit too. So I joined this class on flow. Flow is like your optimal stage of biology, where all your chemicals are firing at the right time. Like athletes refer to it, like if they're shooting a basketball and it looks like it's a swimming pool, you're in your flow.
It's like a zone of flow. Yeah.
It's a zone. It's your zone. It's your flow zone, whatever. So, I probably come up with a better explanation to it. But one of the things that's part of flow is recovery. Sleep is really important. So I'm like, man, I don't get enough sleep. So I started diving deeper into it, and I started looking at the genetics. And there are genetic predispositions to insomnia. There's genetic predispositions to sleep. And I was thinking, like, in order for me to recover, I may not need the exact same amount of sleep as you do. Like, Trump was saying that he only sleeps for 4 hours a day, which
but he's
may or not be true.
A, he lies, and B, he's not actually human, so we can't really compare that. He's a monster. He's actually like a monster.
How do you really feel?
Yeah, exactly. This show's not political at all.
Okay. No, but I was just saying that. So I started doing a little bit of research. I'm like, okay, are there genes? What makes you have insomnia, and what kind of insomnia? And I think we can have a whole conversation about sleep, but I just want to let people know that there are reasons why people have insomnia. So there's genetic predispositions. I'll mention some of them. It's MEI S1, which is the homeobox gene. There's also bruxism related genes. Bruxism is grinding your teeth. So some people don't know they grind their teeth in the middle of the night.
I know I do that.
Yeah. DRD2, DRD3. I do that too. I had no idea until I went to get my teeth cleaned. They're like, you grind your teeth. I'm like, no, I don't. Like, no, you grind your teeth.
And then they want you to wear those guards, and I can't do it.
I'm wearing that shit.
There's nothing less sexy than, hey, honey.
I don't have that hey, honey right now.
I want to get a little frisky with you, but let me just take out my mouth guard. Yeah, no, I'm not doing it.
I was dating this girl. Man, she's probably gonna listen to this. She had a mouth guard. and I had to take it out every time.
Yeah, that's not.
And have the drool.
Let's just say it's.
Have the drool on it when you take
let's
it
just
out.
Say it's ruined. It's ruined the sex lives of many couples. But they have very healthy teeth, which is
that's very important. Yes.
Yeah.
But MAO, some of the MAO markers, MAOB, the H2R2A, and the reason why I bring this up is people need to understand that some of them have genetic predispositions to insomnia, to falling asleep, to staying asleep, and then quality of sleep. So the main thing that I wanted to really talk about in this subject is it's not even the hours of sleep that you get, how much sleep you get, it's the quality of sleep. When you're hitting that REM sleep, you can sleep for 4 or 5 hours and maybe have a restful sleep versus sleeping for 10 hours and staying in alpha where you're not getting your restful sleep. You're not having those lucid dreams. And I think that, sleep is also a personal thing. It's an individual thing. You need to recover, but maybe for me, my recovery is 6 good hours of REM sleep versus a full 8 hours of sleep. But my issue is I don't get up in the middle of the night. Once I'm asleep, you can shoot a shotgun right next to my ear. I think I am a deep sleeper, but it takes me, like I went to sleep after 1 last night and I was up at 7. So I'm like 5.5, 6 hours sleep.
That's a good solid.
I feel good. I feel good, but it was a solid.
Now, do you take anything to help you sleep?
I don't take anything to help me sleep per se, but I do consume cannabis at night.
Right. That probably keeps you asleep.
Well, yes and no. So there's so much. When you consume THC at a certain level, THC starts being active in your brain. So think about it as somebody who drinks alcohol. And if you drink a lot of alcohol, which I don't really do, some people can pass out from alcohol. When you pass out from alcohol and you're passed out sleeping, you can be out sleeping for 10 hours and you wake up and you feel like shit. I'm like, fuck, man, I'm not rested. Oh my God. And besides the poison trying to come out of your body, you never got rested. You never really got restful sleep because that receptor, your brain is still active with those receptors. They're being activated. So you can consume, and I know you can consume a lot of THC, but your brain will be activated at that time. So you won't be able to get your really restful sleep. So you have to understand what's right for you, how much to take, because as people get couch like, they're like, oh my God, I pass out. You're not really getting your restful sleep. So that I take with intention. So I consume a little bit and I consume something that's right for me, that has mercy and that's sedative, but I make sure that I don't consume too high of THC at night or any concentrates, because that will activate my brain and will not have a restful sleep.
Yeah. I mean, you talk about flow. Yeah. I usually get up around 4 a.m. because I have to pee. That's my flow.
That flow.
Yeah, that's my flow.
So does my partner.
Yeah. So that's my flow. But I've been actually trying to, and I feel like that messes with my sleep. So what I've been trying to do, aside from getting old,
wear a diaper.
Is wear a diaper like our president, coming always back to the president. But also, no, I've been experimenting with a lot of different, and this is something maybe you and I should talk about, a lot of different, different CBDs. Do I want to take a CBD that has a little bit of THC, like a 30-1 I took last night, a Papa and Barkley 30-1 THC, to CBD to THC mix, 30 CBD to 1 THC. I've also, and then I supplemented it with a little melatonin. Sometimes I'll just take melatonin. I've tried a lot of things. I'm just experimenting each night and trying to see what works best for me. I mean, I don't have such a problem falling asleep, but I have a problem waking up in the middle of the night. And I know that sometimes people say that CBD can help you sleep through the night. but my flow is
Not
always
for
getting
me.
in the way. Not for you.
Yeah, not for me. Yeah, CBD is not, it's not sedative for me. And
Yeah.
most people that have ADD that I've spoken with, and there is a genetic, aspect to this. CBD just gets the wind. I just kind of veg out, and
Mhm.
it gets me a little more calm.
Yeah.
But I can stay up. It actually
Yeah.
keeps me up. And
How about melatonin? Have you tried melatonin?
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Doesn't work
Not
for you?
me. No.
Okay.
I know what works for me specifically.
What?
And
Because you got ADD like me. I want to know. Give me the
yeah,
secret.
so mine is a low THC formulation that has a little bit of CBD or somewhere closer to 1 to 1.
Okay.
Something that's more, but it's the terpene profile, the essential oils. Like not to plug our company in any way, but
I'll plug it. I'm going to buy it right after this call.
We've licensed our formulations to companies like Thunderstorm, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give them a plug too. So they have a formulation, a Nano 5 DNA formulation that we've licensed to them. That is a formulation that helps them people sleep. And I've given that formulation to many people, including rock musicians that haven't slept in years and years, and it's really effective.
Does it come in the form of a pill, flower?
It's a
tincture.
Yeah, it's a tincture or a sublingual spray. So
Mm-hmm.
it comes in their bottle. It comes as a tincture. You can put a spray top on and spray sublingually. So that way you don't have to worry about the 11-oxyhydroxide conversion in your liver, and it goes directly into your bloodstream. And it's a safer way. Smoking, I never recommend, even though that's my method. I like to smoke, but I also have a tincture. And the 1-to-1, my partner, Eric, he has similar issues to you. And we used to share hotel rooms when we used to be on the road, and you get up in the middle of the night. So that formulation has been working for him really well, and other people. So that it's the terpene profile and the essential oils, like in complementing to you as well. So, that's something
I'm going to talk to my friends over at Thunderstorm about that one, because that sounds really good.
Yeah, I'll be happy to share with you. But it's a formula that really has been working really well. But it's an individual thing. So, John, you talked about. I want to touch on self-help for a little bit.
Okay.
Why don't you tell us about your experience with self-help? And
do you have a whole episode?
Well, I want to cover this in way more detail on an episode about these guru kind of things. Yep. But maybe you can just kind of give a teaser, and then we'll talk about
okay.
my experience.
Well, not to do any plugs, but I do actually in my personal podcast right about now, I talk about this at length. This week, I interviewed a therapist who specializes in cults and has a lot of clients who are former members of cults, including a lot from the Nexium cult, which has been kind of in the news lately. That's the sex cult that was on HBO and then various channels, the documentary. But my experience is, as a kid, my parents were involved with a group called the Unfoldment, or sometimes it was called the Group. So it didn't really have a name. And there was a charismatic teacher named Dr. Kenneth Mills. He wasn't really a doctor. We found out later he just had an honorary degree. He was really just Kenneth. So we used to call him Mr. Mills, and then all of a sudden he was Dr. Mills, but we always called him Mr. It was always Mr. Mills, right? And so growing up, there was always this mysterious figure in my life named Mr. Mills, right? And he lived up in Canada, and when he would come down, he would sometimes stay in my parents' bedroom. My parents would like move out, and he would like kind of be in our house, and all these people would come over and hear him speak. And my brother and I thought it was very weird when we were kids, but as we got older, we started realizing that this was like a serious thing that my parents were involved in. And then eventually, my senior year of high school, the summer of my senior year of high school, my mother insisted that my brother and I go up to this workshop that he had up in Canada, like a summer school. And it was that summer that we kind of got, now I would say, more indoctrinated. But at the time, it just felt like, wow, we met Dr. Mills and Mr. Mills, and we became very like involved in this group. And I spent then the remainder of my 20s sort of in and out of this group that my parents had introduced me to, because it was pretty hard to get out of. Sort of basically like studying with this guy, going to his lectures, sometimes even going up to Canada from my home in New York, which was a 9-hour drive on the Friday nights, and then arriving on Saturday morning, and then kind of sitting through one of his lectures and then talking to him and whatever. It's a long story, but so my experience with self-help was always having this teacher, Mr. Mills, sort of guide us through our lives. Now, there was a lot of really positive things that came out of it. I would say probably more negative things than positive things, but there were some positive things. You know, I did not grow up with this sort of traditional religious background. I had no spiritual foundation in my life. So this was kind of it when I was a younger person. But the problem with his teaching, as I would later come to learn, was that the sort of ultimate goal was to devotion to that teacher and devotion to his teaching, which was oftentimes a lot about giving your time up to his causes and what he wanted us to do in the world, et cetera. So it was not about your sort of independence and, you know, flourishing in the outside world. It was about kind of giving up. So a lot of the people in the group didn't really have these little jobs on the side, but really they spent all their time giving their money and their time and their effort to this group and to this teacher. And that was not a good thing. And there was no graduation date. You were just doing it for life until he died. Right. So that was my introduction to self-help early on in my life. So as a result, as I got older and got wiser to what was happening, and it took me, this is years of therapy. It wasn't just like one day I was like, hey, that was fucked up. Right? You know, I realized, and plus, you know, my parents, who I have tremendous amount of respect for, were very involved. And my brother was very, very involved in the teaching, and still, he isn't as much anymore, but let's just say he did well after the teacher died. So the point of this all is that I've been very skeptical about self-help. And so when you talk about men's groups and stuff like that, I'm not, I don't poo-poo them, because I've been in them. I mean, there was a men's group in the Mr. Mills teaching. I totally, it was all about that. It was a lot about that. Yeah. And I just, whenever there's a teacher, like a guru who everybody's worshiping and revering, I'm very skeptical of those kinds of teachings, because those people take away your agency and your decision-making abilities. And they see it always, nobody ever joins a cult. Nobody ever says, I want to be in a cult, right? They join a group of people, like-minded people who they think are, you know, helping. So for example, when you talk about Tony Robbins. Sorry. There's so many, there's Tom Robbins, the writer.
There is a Tim Robbins,
the actor. Yeah. No, when you talk about Tony Robbins, that makes my antenna go up, because to me, that's a bit of a cult of personality. Now I know you don't follow him every day. You don't, you know, but that is a little bit more.
Well, it's even his documentary is called "I'm Not Your Guru."
Yeah. I mean, and I know that he's into that. I think people, and a lot of it is sometimes the teacher himself might not want you to be his guru, but the people in the group make him a guru.
No, you're absolutely right about that. And even being at an event, it has that kind of feel to it.
Right. Like the worshiping of a person.
And I believe that it sort of preys on certain people that have a certain personality. Like to me, he's just one guy that I take bits and pieces of, but there's many others, and I'll go into mine. But I can see where that can become a challenge. Let's just say for people.
I really, so that's always my, and again, I was never even sucked into it when I was with Dr. Mills, because I was always the bad kid in my family of like not doing the things that he wanted us to do, and was very, very rebellious. But I get concerned about groups like that. And again, I oftentimes think the teacher might be the most normal person in the group, and it's the people in the group that are actually making the teacher into something to be worshipped, or a god, you know. Maybe, I mean, and the same thing is happening with Trump. I see it all, you know, I see a very similar thing happening with Trump and some of his followers, whether they're in his inner circle or sort of outside of his circle. And not that everybody who voted for Trump is in a cult, but there are certain people that treat Trump as if he's some sort of messianic figure, and he isn't, and nobody is. And so that always concerns me. So that's kind of been my self-help. That said, I have my own way of doing self-help. I mean, I've really discovered very recently mindfulness meditation, Buddhism. There's certain self-help. I don't even like the word self-help, things to improve yourself. Like you talk about flow and all these things. These are very interesting to me, as long as it's not associated with one teacher that I have to sort of give my life and money and time to.
Well, it's that. It's the money thing. And there's so many things that are going on right now. So, you know, I was reading Dianetics. I didn't know anything about the Scientology. I didn't even know anything that it became like
classic cult.
A cult. Yeah. I'm like, oh, this is an interesting book. And I was a kid, and I read the Bhagavad Gita, or however you say it, and
Right. The Baba. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Also, as a kid, I was just going to flea markets with my dad, and I was getting these books because they had interesting covers on them. I was reading that stuff. And my first, like, as you said, self-help kind of book, I read this book called The Psychology of Winning by Dr. Dennis Waitley, I think his name is. And people were like, why are you reading this book? And I was sitting on the beach with a friend. So I'm reading this book. What the hell? You're a pussy reading this fucking stupid ass book. I'm like, no, it's kind of interesting. I started highlighting things. And so I was always fascinated by ways to
curious
myself. I'm super curious. And then it got me into, reading like Viktor Frankl, Men's Search for Meaning, which is maybe my favorite book of all time, and Malcolm Gladwell, Outliers, and getting into Tony Robbins. But I got into Tony Robbins through Jim Rohn. I found a Jim Rohn video, like some stuff about Jim Rohn, who was one of the mentors that Tony Robbins used. And then what happens to a lot of these people is, like, Jim Rohn went to work for Herbalife. So I'm like, wait, I'm connecting to this guy, but now he's part of Herbalife. Nothing against Herbalife, but it just
a little bit of a pyramid scheme, isn't Herbalife? Yeah.
I'm making no accusations here. What it is, but it's a network marketing companies.
That's all we have to say.
Yes, it's everybody can make their own decisions on that. And then when I got into Tony Robbins, I can see getting sucked in and being at that event. Like, there is adrenaline. There's all these chemicals that are getting out of your head. So you want to be part of that. And we're social animals. Right. So in my flow class through Stephen Kotler, who wrote Stealing Fire, which is one of my other favorite books. It's science. It's scientifically based, and it's self-study. So you have breakout groups, but it's online. So I'm looking at these things. But when I watch his video lately, there is a person. There's always a person, right? So is it about the person who's writing the book, or is it about the material? And you always have to question yourself. And the new, not so new for people that really connect, is Dr. Joe Dispenza. And I've been looking at some of the work that Dr. Joe Dispenza has been doing and following that. So anything that's scientifically backed, as long as the person is really coming from a place of giving and contribution. But look, we should have a show just about all this stuff, and I'll go over.
I want to do it, and I'll tell you what I've learned in my research.
Yeah.
I'm doing quite a deep dive into this, and I'm really happy to share my learnings. And again, I don't want to come across as somebody who's like anti-personal growth, because in fact, I still get teased by my friends about, you listen to those podcasts and whenever there's some sort of teacher associated with it that gets revered by his students, and then I immediately have my radar goes off and say, there's something a little off about this.
Yeah. Let's definitely have a show about that. But I just want to, the only warning that I want to give to people is that try to get information from different things that connect to you. Look at the content that you're getting, and not necessarily the person that's delivering the content to you. Disconnect from the person. Right. The person is just a vessel and a vehicle to get content. And look at everything and then pick and choose what's right for you.
But if the person is saying ultimately, it always starts off in a great way, like you have a great transformation and a breakthrough. Yeah. Right. But then you start realizing that in order for you to have more breakthroughs like that, you have to give more and more to this person, not just financially, but of your time, of your energy, of your brain power. Then be suspicious, because you don't want to hand over your will to somebody else ever. And you said people are generally pack animals. And I agree. People like to be in groups, and there's that feeling of a cult of a like-minded people. That's a very powerful thing. But people are also oftentimes want like a father figure. They want somebody to help tell them what to do and to navigate this very complicated world. Mm-hmm. And it's very appealing when a charismatic person tells you, I have the answers to the questions you've been searching for your whole life. Yeah. I'm going to help you, and I'm going to give you answers to things that nobody else in the world knows. Yeah. You hear that all the time. Yeah. Be suspicious of that, because if one person is telling you, it has to come from you, all those discoveries, not from somebody else. So anyway, we can talk about this for hours. I just want to alert you that we are an hour and 15 minutes into this conversation.
Oh shit! All right, so let's do our songs that have you heard, and then
let's do Have You Heard. So right. Tommy, can you cue up the theme song Have You Heard? All right, and Len, do you want to go first? Do you want to share your song with me?
Yeah, I'll share my song. This is the complexity of this is really interesting because it builds. So I was trying to make a decision on which one I want to share, and I'm going to share the song. But what I'm probably going to do is share it in 2 parts.
All right, and we know how to do this now, right? We have this thing.
I think so. We'll give it a shot.
Okay.
I'm gonna share this.
I'm closing my eyes, by the way, because I shouldn't see what it is, because you're gonna tell me afterwards.
Yeah. But I want to build it for you. I want you to watch how the video builds.
Okay.
And then I'll fast forward to the singing part, because I think it's really important the way it builds. Or maybe I'll just do the quick video for it. All right, ready?
Mm-hmm. Oh no, I can't hear it. Wait. Damn it. Wait, pause it. Can you hear it? Do the thing with the share screen where I think it says on the share screen setting, it says log out and then log in. And I think you have to click that thing about share screen so that I can hear it.
I thought I did that. All right, maybe I didn't. Hold on.
Advanced hearing options?
Yeah.
And by the way, if this doesn't work, what is that?
All right, I got it again. Let me try this again.
Okay.
Share.
You found it.
I did wrong. Yeah. All right. One more time. Take 2.
Take 2. Now it's going to work. There it is.
So just giving some narrative on what's going on for people who can't see. There's 2 guys in a studio, and they're playing different instruments. And the one guy is actually flipping a passport book. He's got a saxophone, and they're sampling themselves and building up this song.
Oh, I love when that do this. It's so cool. Up a little bit. So all right, now he's playing drums. Now he's gonna get to the singing.
Saw that thing so beautiful. She just hit my heart. Oh,
I like that.
She got me like, I be like, baby, why you so fine? Gotta make you mine.
That's cool. That's like when you see those guys on the street that have all these like 10 different instruments that they're playing all at one time, but this is like through electronics.
So it's an 8-minute long song. There's a short version of it that's like 3 minutes, but I wanted to show that this guy FJK, he's a French producer. He plays every single instrument, and he's amazing at doing these loops. And then Masigo, he also plays, as you saw, and our audience may have seen, he plays a bunch of different instruments as well. So together, they're layering the song and sampling, and we'll talk about samples another time.
I'm about to play. It's interesting because I'm about to play something for you that's very sample heavy.
So what'd you think of that?
I really thought that was very cool. And I think they were doing it in real time. The whole thing was done in real time. So I don't even know if they were improvising that, or if that was all kind of pre-programmed, but it seemed like a lot of it was improvised, which was so cool. And I love the like da-da, da-da sample. So anyway, and then he's singing over it. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, I forgot to say who it is. It's FJK and Masigo, and the song is called Tado, Tadow, which is
it's a dope track. How did you find it?
I get into my YouTube kind of zones where I'm one of the only 3 guys left in the world that watches YouTube videos of songs. Like there's actually videos for songs. Yeah. So I get in my hole and then I listen, and the guy's on everywhere now. Like he's definitely, blowing up, and he did a Tiny Desk concert recently too that I highly recommend.
Did you just hear that little piano thing chime in there for a minute? Can you hear this?
No.
You can't hear that?
No.
Son of a... All right, now I got to share my screen. So what do you do again? You press share.
When you click share screen all the way in the bottom, there's a little, you got to
share computer sound. Okay.
That's it.
There we go. Wow. It's even making me do a code. Barrett, you were sharing your screen. All right, Here we go. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
I read the news today, oh boy, about a lucky man who made the grade. And though the news was rather sad, well, I just had to laugh.
Did you recognize those 2 tracks?
Yeah, Karma Police and Day in the Life.
I thought that's a pretty freaking cool mashup.
Fucking great mash. Yeah,
that was one of the better ones I've ever heard. That's called Karma and the Life by Go Home Productions. And I just, there's been a lot of mashups, but that one was so spot on in terms of like, you can't even tell they're 2 different songs, and they just lend each other. First of all, it's 2 of my favorite bands in the whole world.
Yeah,
the Beatles and Radiohead. And then to combine those, and then they, not only that, but at the end, he throws in a little bit of walrus. I Am the Walrus.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just like to share that with people. I just thought it was a very creative use of samples.
So timely too, because I think a few days ago was the 40th anniversary of the passing of John Lennon.
Oh, wow. So big ups to John Lennon. I don't know what he would think about people sampling his music.
He would hate it.
He would freaking hate it, right? Just like Keith Richards hated it. Keith Richards hated when the Verve Pipe sampled, which is one of the greatest. Bittersweet Symphony is one of the great samples.
I love that, man.
I know, and Keith Richards freaked out on them. But anyway, I think we do a whole episode on sampling, because I think it's an art form into itself, and it really, in a sense, like we've talked about this, Led Zeppelin was sampling blues artists. You know, we've borrowed from each other for since music was around. So I think that's kind of obnoxious, the whole sampling thing. But all right. Well, this has been what a action-packed podcast.
A lot of stuff.
I mean, there was so much. I'm exhausted mentally and physically just from doing this podcast. I hope that it helped people get in the flow, because I actually now have to get in the flow.
I'm in flow when I'm doing this. Like, time just goes by. I'm glad you told me. I could have kept going and going, but I think out of this, I want people when they subscribe and comment, just let us know if you want us. We really want to have a deeper discussion on self-help and motivation, whatever you want to call it as an industry. I think it'll going to be interesting, so people can chime in on that. And then our sample show. I think that those two things we'll dig a little bit deeper on. And also, I'd love to talk about reading material, like in that vein of self-help or motivation. What do you like to turn to, book-wise or audiobook-wise?
Yeah, I'd be fascinated with that.
I read some really, really interesting ones lately, so I'll share.
Me too. And when I read them, sometimes I'll even bring them. We can bring them on the show to interview them. I've certainly brought them on my personal show to interview. Those people are dying to talk to us.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, to sign off to you who are listening to this, happy holidays, happy Hanukkah.
Yes. Happy Hanukkah. Chag Sameach. I like that.
Ooh, you broke.
I pulled that out. Said that to
broke
me.
out the Hebrew. All right. Word. Right. Peace.
Peace, everyone.
All right, man. Good show.
Cool. Yeah, it was fun.
That was a good one. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'll end the Audacity and I'll send over the file. This is show 12. Wow. All right, cool. And I should export it in a WAV file, correct?
That is correct. Yeah, just export in a WAV file. If you want to send it to me, or I can give you a Dropbox folder to Dropbox it into.
I'll send it to you.
All right, cool.
Unless it's too big, and I'll let you know if it is too big, but it should be fine.
All right.
So IEP episode 12. Perfect. All right, brother.
Thanks, man. All right,
brother. Enjoy your holiday. I will talk to you soon.
I'll talk to you soon.
All right,
Peace.
take care. Bye.